You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
What's up? Welcome to the weekend. Kevin's Other Show. Here we go, Diener.
You ready, man?
Let's do this.
All right, I'm ready if you're ready.
Coming up today, going to be talking a little bit about the Dolphins. Got a big old matchup tonight. Game 2, preseason going on in Carolina. Breaking that down. Going to talk a little bit more about the suspension of Jose Urena. A little bit more than what you thought it might be. Also get to the Miami Hurricanes. Projected to possibly have 3 first-rounders, but what is the Miami Hurricanes' best draft class ever? We'll put Diener's test of the knowledge. He's wearing a Canes hat today.
As usual.
Okay. And also, hockey fans, little info on the Florida Panthers and a great promotion they're going to be doing this year. I'll give you details on that coming up here in just a bit. Tonight, you got the Dolphins, Panthers, and I think probably the big question is what you're going to see personnel-wise. How long is Tannehill going to play? You know, last night I thought it was kind of interesting. If you watched the Patriots and the Jets, both Tom Brady and Sam Darnold, they played the entire first half last night.
Yeah, I did not see that coming at all. I mean, that was maybe the most shocking thing of the night. Why are you playing?
Sam Darnold, I get. Tom Brady, I don't.
Yeah, why? Why Tom Brady?
I don't know. Because I think if anything, what you want to give a little bit of time for your backups there. I mean,
Sure.
that's probably your big question right now in New England.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
in the Garoppolo days.
No, he's gone. He's going to be starring for the 49ers.
Yeah.
I mean, who is it? Is it Brissett, right? Jacoby Brissett is the backup now for the Patriots?
He was. I can't remember. No, I don't think that's who came in for him because he came in just for one
No, that's right. He went to the Colts.
Yeah, Brissett's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to keep track of where Jacoby Brissett is playing these days.
That's right. By Dwyer Panther, by the way.
Was he really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. How about that? Jacoby Brissett played down at Dwyer?
Yeah, he was at Dwyer High School.
I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, there you
How
go.
about them
I'm
apples?
schooling you, man.
Yeah, you are. Well
Schooling
done.
you. Yeah, they expect the Miami starters to play well at least into the first quarter tonight. And how much time do you want to give to Tannehill? He wants to get on the same page with the receivers if his receivers were there. But he's working on kind of like this weird bare bones like cast and crew because they've got injuries. He's going to be throwing to Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant, and Mike Gesicki tonight. That's going to be his basic targets. So, typically you'd say, well, let's get the chemistry going. But, I mean, is he going to be throwing to those 3 guys when the regular season kicks off anyway? Because you got Devontae Parker's out.
Yeah, and like I said
Stills
yesterday.
is out.
Yeah, Stills is out. Stills needs to come back. That's the guy you want to see come back healthy for the regular season. So, it's fine.
Marquise Gray's out.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
So does it benefit really having Tannehill in there because you got to be scared about the backup situation? But, I mean, is the Dolphins' backup quarterback situation worse than anybody else in the NFL? Or are they just, how many teams are saying, man, we've got 2 starters on our roster?
Not many.
We won't skip a beat.
I mean, the Eagles, right? I mean, maybe that's the only one at this point.
And they're going to need it, too.
Yeah, they are. With Foles, we don't know what happened with him last night now.
Yeah. So that's probably about the only one. So, how much will you see Tannehill tonight? What are you going to see going down? That's a big question.
It's got to be the first half. I mean, honestly, I know I've been saying the past couple days, at least the first quarter. But the more I think about this now as we approach the game tonight, which, by the way, I'm pumped. Like, I am ready for some preseason football tonight. Game 2, it's getting more serious. I'm ready to go, man. Let's go.
Fired up, huh?
Yeah, I am. First half, let's go Tannehill. Keep him in there.
Well, one thing came up. I don't know if you saw some people were throwing a little bit of shade at John Elway. He's the general manager in Denver for the Broncos. And they were talking to him about Colin Kaepernick. And he had this to say.
Well, you know what, and I said this a while ago, and, Colin had his chance to be here. We offered him a contract. He didn't take it.
Yeah, well, some people were saying, yeah, you did, but that was, what, the 2016 season? It was before the whole taking a knee, and it's not like you're saying you would do that now, because that's, again, the big question is Colin Kaepernick being blackballed and, kept out of the league.
Yeah, that was a little, I don't want to say misleading, because technically he's right. They did offer it to him, but it's the time frame that's important here. Because when I heard that yesterday, I'm like, wait, what? When did this happen? And as you read deeper into it, like you said, you find out that it was actually in 2016 around the time the whole thing was starting, but it wasn't what it is today. It's not like they offered him a contract last week and he turned it down.
Well, Diener, as a Dolphins fan, would you rather have Colin Kaepernick backing up Tannehill, or would you rather have Brock Osweiler?
Oh, man. This is... All right, football. Just football.
Yeah.
This is going to hurt. I want Kaepernick for just football. I know I might get killed for saying this by some people, but when you're looking at just football skill as a talent evaluator, which for the most part is what it should be if you're a general manager or in player development or whatever it may be, and you're making those decisions, it should come down to football. And if it comes down to football, Kaepernick is leaps and bounds better.
Kaepernick is leaps and bounds better than Brock Osweiler.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you blind resumes.
All right.
From 2016.
Uh-oh.
Last time these two guys pretty much played a full season.
Oh, geez, you're about to prove me wrong. I have a feeling.
Leaps and bounds, you said, right?
Yes, leaps and bounds.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you the numbers here. You tell me which one of these quarterbacks that you want. Okay, you had, in 2016, one played 15 games, had a completion percentage of 59, 2,957 yards with 15 touchdowns, and a 72.2 QBR.
Average.
Okay. Other blind resume. Which of these two quarterbacks do you want? Played 12 games in 2016, had a completion percentage of 59.2, 2,241 yards, about 700 less than the first one, 16 touchdowns, and a 90.7 QBR.
These are like the same stats.
Okay, so which one do you want? Do you want quarterback one or do you want quarterback two? Is your backup to Tannehill?
I guess at that point that I would take
Leaps and bounds, you said,
leaps
right?
and bounds, yes.
Leaps and bounds.
Yes.
So who do you want? You want the first resume or you want the second?
I guess I go with the second because the QBR is a little bit higher.
Okay. Second's Kaepernick.
Oh,
First
there you
one's
go.
Osweiler.
Yeah.
But for any Dolphins fan out there who's like Diener and saying leaps and bounds, it's not leaps and bounds.
I guess it's maybe not.
It's really, I mean, and to be fair, again, this is 2016. But, if you're looking at the last year when you got a good sample size for both quarterbacks, they're really about the same quarterback.
Now, see, this is tough because Kaepernick hasn't played essentially since 2016, and
that's you're right. That's another good point that he's coming in. He's going to pick right up, no rust, bam, right at it, and that's not getting a ton of reps.
Exactly, and that's the tricky thing about this is that Brock Osweiler has played,
Yeah. So
and in this time span, he's been awful. So that's. For someone like me, when you're looking at everything in front of you, you see Brock Osweiler in the past 2 years, and you see horrible
been bad.
football. Yeah, so that's why we kind of have a.
So you're favoring a guy that you don't know over a guy that you know has been bad.
If Kaepernick can play like he did in 2014 and 2015, then that Kaepernick.
You're right.
is
His
leaps and
numbers
bounds
were
better.
a good bit better. But
Yes.
again, that's a guy, he really kind of started to trend down. 2014, 2015, Kaepernick's numbers were better than 2016.
Yes.
So it was down, down, down 3 years in a row. So he's trending down and hasn't played now. It's going to be going on to 2 years.
And one of the last times he did play, which I'm going to go against myself here, but I have to be honest, one of the last times he did play was, I forget who it was against, but it was a game, I mean, it might have been against the Rams, where he threw 3 passes, completed one, I believe it was for 6 yards or 12 yards. It was horrible. It was one of the worst games a quarterback has ever had in NFL history. That's one of the last games Kaepernick ever played in the NFL. So you have to consider that as well. But, I mean, how do you have a guy who was in the Super Bowl a play away from winning the Super Bowl? Don't forget that, against the Ravens. And all of a sudden he turns into what he did. It just, you would think there's still some talent left there.
Sure.
That's why I would take him
But,
over
even his
Osweiler.
coach from that season is trending down.
Eesh.
Harbaugh's not the same guy he was. At least hasn't been yet.
Yeah.
So are you still wanting Kaepernick over Osweiler?
Yes.
I think arguably they're the same guy.
They might be the same guy. It's just that as of now, from what I've seen from Osweiler over the past 2 years, that's what's leading me to say I would take Kaepernick instead because I just feel like there's more to give on the field there. Now, in reality, would this ever happen? 100% no, because Stephen Ross and the ownership group and nobody in the NFL is going to bring this guy in because of the bad press that it's going to bring.
Yeah.
You really want the president tweeting bad about your team the whole year? No.
It's still so stupid. And they did this poll where 60% of Americans want President Trump to stop tweeting about the NFL.
Yes, please.
So, yeah, the president may be upset, but honestly, who cares? I mean, if America is tired of him doing it and America doesn't care and your fan base doesn't care, honestly, who gives a rat's ass what the president tweets about and what he's upset about?
Because what happens is
honestly,
as soon as he puts something out, it's all over Fox, it's all over CNN, MSNBC, it's everywhere. It's AP is reporting on it.
People are burnt on it. People are so tired of hearing about it. Like, it's not going to affect your ticket sales. People aren't going to buy less jerseys for the most part, really. I think people are over it. I thought it was interesting. Do you like Tony Dungy's take on this? Hall of Fame coach. He said if he were still coaching today, they said, what would you do? How would you handle the anthem? He said, look, as a coach, my challenge would be the best way to help these guys get their message across. And he said the best way to do that is not 3 minutes before the national anthem. I would give them the platform, my national press conference. And then they said, okay, well, how would you respond to players who argue that the protests bring in a unique awareness to their cause, in part because the demonstrations make some people uncomfortable? Tony Dungy said that he would tell them, good. Well, we can make people uncomfortable during the press conference.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean,
let's take the whole time and say, let's not talk about the X's and O's. Let's talk about the civil injustice that's happening in America instead.
They want a platform. He would give them the platform.
But you still respect the anthem.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That seems like a win-win, right? And at that point, aren't you just being like, oh, dude, you're just trying to be difficult? Man, we need Tony Dungy.
I would love it to get Roger Goodell out of here, bring in Tony Dungy, or at least have coaches, maybe some respected coaches out there like John Gruden or somebody with a big name, adapt this and put this into their own team policy, because that, to me, is genius and makes everybody happy, I think.
It seems like the NFL is just really one decent idea away from making this all go, and you can have a win-win situation, and it shouldn't be an issue. And then maybe you can legitimately talk about bringing in Colin Kaepernick, or if it's worth it or not, talk about the X's and O's and not the fact that he's taken a knee during the anthem.
But then it goes back to you're silencing their freedom of speech, and that whole argument comes back, and then we're back to square one. So,
well, but Tony Dungy seems to have the right approach, though.
I think it's fair.
At that point, he's saying, look, you're just trying to be difficult.
Yeah, I think it's a fair compromise.
I'm going to give you a better and bigger megaphone, and you make people as uncomfortable as you want and get your point across.
Do it.
Otherwise, you're just doing it to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, and by the way, Brian Hoyer and Danny Etling, backup quarterbacks of the Patriots. So yeah,
they might. Tom Brady's hogging the minutes.
You might want to get those guys in there just in case.
I don't get what they were doing last night. Well, coming up in just a couple minutes, Jose Urena, his suspension. Is it too much? Is it not enough? What is your take on that? Rick Sutcliffe had some interesting things to say too, breaking it down. We'll get to that coming up next.
It's Derek Jeter's favorite sports show, just like Derek Jeter is Florida's favorite owner. Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Well, you pretty much knew a suspension was going to be coming down for Jose Urena, the Marlins pitcher that plunked Braves outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. a couple days ago. Best way to keep him from hitting a home run, that leadoff spot.
Hey, it worked, right?
People upset, the bench is cleared twice. Urena was ejected. And the argument is, okay, was he really going after him or not? Urena's trying to say, I was just trying to back him off the plate. I knew that he was hot. He was hitting home runs at his first at bat. But I think a lot of people are like saying, dude, we're not buying it.
No.
The pitch that he threw was in the 99th percentile, the fastest pitches he's thrown this season. And it's the fastest pitch he's ever tossed to open up a game. So, yeah, maybe you're ginned up because you know this kid is hitting jacks, but it just seemed like you were going after him. And that ball was so far inside.
Oh, yeah.
So far inside that, and maybe he didn't mean to hit him on the elbow, and I don't know that he did, but it looked like he was at least gunning for his back. And all because Ronald Acuna Jr. was hitting great.
Yeah, that's not a reason why you throw at a guy.
It's bully ball.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's bush. My high school coach would be like going, dude, that's bush league.
Yeah.
I was just saying all the time. That's bush league, man. That's bush league.
It was. It really was.
Yeah. Rick Sutcliffe talking about it and his thoughts on the pitch.
In your mind, was it stupid or part of baseball?
It was stupid. I agree with knocking somebody down. I agree with moving somebody off the plate. But you do that with a four-seam fastball where when you put it under their chin, it's there. You know where it's at. You've got room to move. But when you want to hit somebody, say you were retaliating, which that wasn't the case at all, that's when you chase somebody. And that's exactly what Urena did with that fastball. He chased him to where Acuna had absolutely nowhere to go. I was really worried that they were going to leave him into the ballgame, because then when he comes up to hit, Kevin Gausman, the pitcher for the Braves, has no choice but to hit him. Who knows where it would have went?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, huh?
Sure. Well, and that's still the weird thing that exists in baseball. This whole mentality of we're going to hit people, but you're hitting somebody with a hard baseball at almost 98 miles an hour.
I mean, everybody pretty much but Keith Hernandez, every baseball person but him has come out and has said that this was stupid. This was Bush League. This was wrong. This is not baseball. And they're all right. I'm not really sure where Keith Hernandez was coming from with his explanation of saying that he was good with this. You want to brush a guy back who's hot? That's fine. You want to take him out of his rhythm? I get that. That's that. You see that in baseball all the time. But you hit a guy because he's doing well? No,
to me, honestly, hitting a guy for anything, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's one of the dumbest things that still exists in baseball.
So you're not down with the old
ever hitting
rules?
someone? No, I don't believe.
Okay.
I don't believe in that. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, because this is somebody's livelihood.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at what can happen when you get hit by a ball. You're taking somebody out of doing what they do. I mean, look at what happened to Giancarlo Stanton. Legitimately, you can actually end someone's career.
It almost did. I mean, it took him a while to come back from that, even mentally, more than anything.
And so we're still debating. I mean, this is even a debate whether or not we should keep this in baseball and this mentality. If you're going to intentionally go out and plunk somebody, that's even debatable. How do you justify it? When you could end someone's career, how do you justify going out there and saying, this is a guy with a family. You might take away how he's going to make money. This pitch that you're going to throw inevitably could cost him tens of millions of dollars. Go throw it.
Yeah. No, it's got to be done the right way. And here's what I mean by that.
The right way. Okay, what is the right way? Because you could argue that maybe Urena was trying to do it the right way. And I even heard that, when Keith Hernandez was talking about it, there's places where you hit him. You hit him in the ass, you hit him in the back, so that's better. But it looked to me in that pitch like Urena might have been going for his back, and he just didn't. It was so fast that he didn't have time, and he just kind of went in instead of turning, and it hits him on the elbow.
Right.
Lucky it didn't shatter his elbow.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you justify the right way here, Diener?
Because the situation all plays a part in it too, for me anyway, and that's this situation that it happened in made no sense. This is not a situation where you throw at a guy. He didn't do anything to you. He's just
what is the
playing
situation
really well.
where you do throw at somebody?
Retaliation.
For what?
Because
then where does it stop?
It's that should be, in my opinion, that should be the only time it happens, is if you intentionally, like this, where they hit Acuna Jr. for no reason, and now make no mistake about it, something will happen with the Marlins and the Braves, whether it be next week when they play, next year when they play, spring training, whatever it is, it's going to happen. And in my opinion, the Braves are within all of their rights, within the unspoken, unwritten rules of baseball, to retaliate. Because what Urena did has no excuse. There was no reason for him to do it. And now the Braves are within their right to go ahead and get back at him. It's an eye for an eye in baseball.
Even if that might possibly end some other player's career.
Well, you got
if it gets away from you.
You got to do it. You got to do it the right way. You
so
don't
that's just the right way. But you said okay. Tell me, you may go out there with the best of intention to do it the right way.
Yes.
But it winds up in somebody's face or shattering someone's elbow.
Hopefully you don't lose
control.
control.
And that's justified?
Hopefully you don't lose control.
That's an oh well moment. Hopefully you don't lose control. You're intentionally throwing a baseball at someone at 98 miles an hour.
Yes.
And you hope it goes well.
Well, it shouldn't be a fastball either. I mean, why are we throwing 98-mile-per-hour fastballs at somebody?
Well, Sutcliffe was talking about it, and he said, look, if you do something like that, you throw a four-seamer, you throw it a little bit inside, kind of like below the chin.
There's a way to do this. They've been doing it for 100 years. There's a way to do this.
But do we need to?
Right
Just because
way.
you've been doing something for 100 years, do you need to keep doing it?
Not necessarily, but I get why they do it in the right situation when it comes to retaliation, or if you have some type of rivalry, like look, Red Sox Yankees. Look at how many times we've seen this, or
just
Mets,
beat somebody.
Yankees.
Just beat somebody. Honestly, can't you score more runs than them?
Yeah, sure. That's the old-fashioned
Can't you go
way.
yard on somebody?
That's
you got to
usually-
hit him with a dang baseball.
In some situations, that's just the way it goes. But you throw low, you hit him in the butt. That's the only thing Keith Hernandez was right
Again,
about.
you try, but
it was
who's
the wrong,
to say
wrong
where it
situation.
goes? Here's Cubs manager Joe Madden talking on the whole concept of hitting somebody in baseball.
Okay.
Why did he hit the guy? Because he's playing good baseball? Did he do anything intentionally to hurt you or harm you other than playing the game properly? Did he show you up by hitting a home run? There's a Neanderthal part of our game that has to go away. Okay, it's not necessary anymore. It never was necessary in the beginning, but now, even with greater scrutiny, it's even more necessary for it to go away. When you've been raised by wolves, you become a wolf. I don't want my guys to be raised by wolves. So I've talked about this before. This is nothing new. The guys that have been here before have heard me. So it's a bad method.
There you go. Bad method.
Am I a wolf?
Yeah.
Am I-
There has no place. It's not even anything about sport. It's not even about sport. It has nothing to do with strategy.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, it's not like
It's
you're...
dumb machismo that has no place in baseball
Yeah.
anymore. And I mean, you look at what happens. Who knows what's going to happen with Ronald Acuna Jr.? He was on a great run. Is he going to be able to slide right back into that? Jose Urena only misses one start, which is probably going to be good for the Marlins, actually. Actually, the Marlins probably benefit by this suspension.
He's been terrible. I don't even know why he's
3 and
still starting.
12.
God.
He's 3 and 12. So the Marlins might have a better chance probably without him in the lineup to actually win a game, which they desperately need.
And let's remember, too, how the season actually started with Jose Urena. He pitched the first game, the opening game, while we were doing this show, actually.
Yeah, opening pitch,
Opening
right?
pitch. Home run against the Cubs. So
Okay.
here we are now in mid-August.
What year was the Canes' best draft class?
Oof.
Okay, we'll see if Diener can answer that question. And
Right.
how good is the draft class for the Canes going to be this year? We'll discuss next.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, hashtag Kevin's Other Show.
Well, you look at all the qualifiers for the question, are the Canes back?
Yeah,
the
man.
Canes are back, man.
Yeah.
When they were like 10-0 last year, everybody, without doubt, the Canes are back. And then they played Pitt. And you said, I don't know, man, with those great Canes teams from the early 90s have lost to Pitt.
Why you got to bring up the Pittsburgh game? Why do you got to do this to me?
Well, it's just,
Come on.
it's just what it is. It's just the fact of what it is. The Canes are heading in the right direction. There's no doubt.
Yes.
There is no doubt. You look at this and you can see that the Canes are headed in the right direction. To me, the Canes are back when the Canes win a national championship because that's what the Canes do. They got 5, right? 5 national championships.
5.
Okay.
Should be 8, but who's counting?
Yeah. So when you win a national championship, that's, to me, that's when you say the Canes are back. You put that on there. But there are precursors, and you can see, when the Canes are getting back. We're one NFL insider who thinks that the Miami Hurricanes have got 3 first-round picks coming up in this year's NFL draft.
That's pretty good considering where they've been in the past. It's
Mm-hmm.
been a while since Miami even had more than one guy go in the first round.
Oh, absolutely. And they had a massive drought. If you look between 2009 and 2014, the Canes didn't have one first-round draft pick.
What were those years?
2009 to 2014.
Man.
They did not have one first-rounder in those years.
It's crazy.
That's not the Canes.
I mean, they were setting records, 5, 6, 7 guys drafted in the first round or first 2 rounds. And man, yeah, it's been a while.
So 3 would be pretty good, and that would be the most that they've done since 2007. They had 3 first-rounders in 2007. So Diener, big Canes fan.
Yes.
Tell me, what is the Miami Hurricanes' best draft class ever?
All right. There's a few to look at here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But I think for me, probably the best one is 2002 because that's when you're coming off that national championship against Nebraska. Mm-hmm. I mean, these names, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get it in front of me because I don't want to leave anybody out. There's just too many. The first guy to go in that team was Bryant McKinnie.
Yeah.
Number 7 pick. He was pretty good. He went to Minnesota. After that, you had 14, Shockey.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you had Philip Buchanan at 17.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 in the first round. Ed freaking Reed
That's big.
at
Yeah.
24
Yeah.
to the Ravens. That's 4 in the first round in 2002. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 in the first round.
Yeah.
So this is when they were setting those records. Mike Rumpf went 27th.
Yeah.
So you had, half the defense go there. And then the second round, Clinton Portis was drafted.
Right.
That's a pretty
And
solid.
that was only just, I think, because of the injury. He would have been a first rounder if it weren't for that injury he sustained in the national championship game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, so you could arguably say 2002 is the Canes' best draft class.
I would think so. You had 5 in the first round, and then Clinton Portis in the second round.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
but you're wrong.
What?
You're wrong.
How so?
It's the second best.
Second best.
Look up 2004.
2004 draft.
2004, and tell
Okay.
me who was in that. That's when the Miami Hurricanes arguably had their best draft class ever with 6 first rounders.
Oh, that's when they had the 6.
They had 5 in 2002 with the 1 second rounder.
Gosh dang it.
Yeah, look at 2004.
All right. See, 2002 was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
All right, 2004.
Yeah.
Number 5 is where it starts. Sean Taylor.
Okay.
Rest in peace. Man, he would have been so good.
I know, phenomenal.
Kellen Winslow, it's a kind of a tough name now.
Well, but,
he
you know,
was good.
you were naming off some from 2002 that
Yeah.
didn't turn out to be
Yeah.
NFL stars.
But, I mean, he had a decent career before he went nuts.
Yeah.
He was, they were back to back. So Sean Taylor, Kellen Winslow, 5 and 6. Then it goes down to 12, Jonathan Vilma. Nice
Yep.
career.
Right.
DJ Williams to the Broncos at 17. So he had 4 in the top 17. Vernon Carey to the Dolphins. That's 5 in the top 20.
Yeah.
Vince Wilfork to the Patriots. Great career. I think he should be a Hall of Famer, actually.
Yeah.
And then the 6th one. Where's number 6? Did I count wrong here?
No, I think so. I think they had 6, right?
Is it 5? Because I have trouble counting sometimes.
No, I think it was 6.
It is 6.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It is 6. Yes, because I've passed. You had Vince Wilfork, you had Vernon Carey, you had DJ Williams, you had Vilma, and Winslow and Sean Taylor.
Okay. And I mean, look at what they did NFL wise. So wouldn't you say arguably 2004 is your best draft class?
No, arguably. We'll
Yeah.
use, yes,
Okay.
arguably. That's fine. But then you put those together, 11 players drafted in the first round.
Yeah, arguably, I mean,
Amazing.
In fact, you probably want to say, and I don't know if being a Canes, you know, you're bigger Canes dude than I am. Would you arguably say that the best the Canes ever were was the 2001 to 2004 era, or was it the, I don't know, arguably the
Talking somewhere in the mid 80s.
Yeah, I would say okay. Let's go 87 to 92. What do you
Man.
think is the better era?
Gosh, that's tough. Because it's obviously the two completely different eras, different athletes.
And it may be depending upon how you judge it, too, because you're right. The Canes have 5 national championships. You could argue that, obviously, they should have had that one against Ohio State.
And Penn State.
Yeah, so they left a couple on the table there.
Yes.
But, I mean, if you had to say what were the better Canes teams, regardless of the hardware they won because of the circumstances and how they played out, would you rather, if you had to, like, put that team on the field today for the Canes, do you want one of the eras from 2001 to 2004 or 87 to 92?
I'm going to say this is tough. And it's a nice problem to have, too, by the way.
Sure.
But I would say that 2000 2004 era, because even
Yeah.
though they only got one national championship in that time span, and the other era, I think, what, you're talking 2 or 3 within those years?
Yeah.
It's still, 2000, they should have played the national title game. They beat Florida State. That was
They
the year
were
that
so good that year,
they were
too.
very good.
And they really came into their own. I remember watching them in that bowl game. You're like, Miami is going to be nasty
Yes.
next year.
They remember
Yeah.
that they destroyed Florida in the Sugar Bowl.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah.
beat Florida State during the regular season. That's when Shockey caught the winning touchdown. We
Yeah.
learned who he was. And Florida State ends up getting destroyed by Oklahoma in the national title game. Why they played in that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So they should have been in that one. 2001, they win. 2002, we all know. Okay, we all know.
A different era. If you had the college football playoff,
Yeah.
the Canes likely have a couple more national championships.
So yeah, you're talking conceivably. I know coulda, woulda, shoulda, but that's a team that, by all means, could have won 3 straight championships.
You're right. And you're walking away with one national championship, but your better teams, I think without doubt, for the Miami Hurricanes are 2001 to 2004. You had 4 first-round picks on the 2001. Mm-hmm. You had 5 first-rounders in 2002, 4 first-rounders in 2003, and 6 first-rounders in 2004.
That's 15 first rounders just between 01 and 04.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
Mercy.
I mean, that's unbelievable. And the odd thing, if you look
It's
between...
half the first round.
It's unbelievable. If you look between 87 and 92, 87, the Canes had 3 first-rounders. Then in 88, it was 2. 89, it was 2.
Really?
90, it was 1. 91, it was 2 with 2 second-rounders. And 92 is 2 first-rounders.
Wow.
So arguably your best Canes teams was those 4 years.
I think so. I
even
think
though
so.
you don't have the hardware to go
Right.
with it.
And plus, I mean, I know they weren't at the top of the list when that list from ESPN came out last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But that 2001 team, in my mind, without even debate, is the best college football team of all time.
The
So-
list was stupid. It was
was.
so dumb. They put what, Texas?
Texas,
That
yeah.
was so dumb. It was
2005
such a
Texas.
dumb list.
It was.
Was that ESPN?
Yeah, it was.
Dude, I'm telling you, ESPN every day is losing points with me. I'm not even kidding you, man.
What
every day.
Well, I
Don't
mean,
even get me started.
No, I would love to get you started.
No, do not get me started. I can just the worst. The worst.
Oh, man.
Had a big high school game last night. I'm really surprised by the outcome. Miami Central came to Delray Beach to take on Atlantic. Now, last year, the Eagles were in the Class 8A state championship game. The Rockets got eliminated in the regional semifinal against Miami Northwestern. And last night, the Rockets pounded Atlantic 39-7 in a preseason kickoff classic right in Delray Beach.
So do you put a lot of stock into that? Because I saw that score and I was like, wow, Atlantic really got beat up there.
Yeah, I
mean,
do. Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a preseason kickoff classic, but it's not the same way as you're looking at like tonight
It's not like-
preseason NFL.
right.
I mean, they're bringing it. They're bringing the thunder. They're trying to play. They make names, and then it usually carries on to the rest of the season. These games set the tone big time, and I believe they account to your schedule. I mean, you're not in the same league
They
or
do,
division.
right?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was a big game.
It's a big deal.
Rockets setting a tone last night, and concerning for Atlantic. So we'll see how that carries over. Panthers fans, they got a pretty good little promotion going on. Tickets on sale. I'll tell you when, coming up next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
Well, if you get Jack when you're Florida Panthers, man, I cannot believe that hockey season is so close. October 11th, the Panthers going to be opening up their 25th anniversary season at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, it just seems so fast. I mean, dang, I guess it's all here, but it makes sense, right?
Getting into the best time of year, man.
Yeah. So they're going to be kicking it off then. If you go to the opening game, the first 10,000 fans in the building get a magnetic schedule courtesy
Ooh.
of Fox Sports Florida.
Hello.
Yeah.
Look nice on my fridge.
Fun little thing to check out. They do have some promotions going on this year, and the one I love, I think it's freaking brilliant. Way to go here, Panthers.
What do you got?
Every Thursday home game is going to be $5 beer Thursdays.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is, you go to some venues in South Florida, honestly, beers, I'm not even messing with you. Coral Sky, it's $15.
Oh, yeah, you're not exaggerating.
No, it's exactly $15.
Yes.
I'm not exaggerating. I mean, you get 3 beers at a Panthers game for the price of 1 at Coral Sky. It's
great.
On a Thursday night.
I bought a 12-pack of beer last week.
Yeah.
For my fantasy football draft I was having. Yes, I know it was early, but that's a whole different story. But it was $18, Kev. $18 for a 12-pack.
Yeah.
And they charge $15 over at Coral Sky. I am making a point. I think I'm going to that show tomorrow night, Evanescence and Lindsey
okay.
Sterling. I think I'm
Yeah.
going to be there. Not buying beer. I'm going to want to. I can't justify spending
I know.
$15 on a beer.
It's tough. And it's tough like
Insane.
you're like I'm stone cold sober at a concert. And it's like,
I know it's rough.
but yeah, no, they crush you there. So way to go, Panthers, on that. Love that $5 beer Thursdays. This, though, I'm not really sure. What do you think about this?
All right.
Every home game on a Friday is going to be a flashback Friday. First 10,000 fans get fanny pack, slap bracelets, and jelly visors.
What are you going to do with them?
I don't. It's garbage. You're gonna walk out of the arena and be like, yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have fun with it during the game. You're like, oh, look,
Maybe.
I'm playing along.
Are you? I'm not gonna.
You're
I'm not gonna have fun with it during the game.
not going to be playing with the slap bracelet?
No.
You know those came back out?
Yeah, they did, but they didn't. I mean, they didn't catch on, did they? I didn't. I mean, I got kids. I didn't see kids playing with slap bracelets.
My niece got one recently, and they're so much more fancy than they used to be when we were younger. Remember the ones you used to have?
They had
when,
the simplicity. They work because of the
Yeah.
simplicity.
They had like the metal wiring inside.
Yeah.
They used to cut your arm when you would do it. Those are
Yeah.
real slap bracelets.
Right.
None of
Yeah.
these, not these new fangled rubber ones.
So I'll give you an A+ on Thursday night's promotion. I'm gonna go with a D on Friday.
You're not feeling the fanny packs?
Not at all.
No?
I think it's dumb.
I would have fun with it during the game because you're playing along.
What fun is it during the game? Where's this fun, Diener? Beer's fun. Beer's a great time.
Beer is fun, yes.
What's fun in slap bracelets? I mean, unless you're an 8-year-old kid, and maybe it. But the kids don't care. They're like, this is stupid. Like, I've got better. This is the awful stuff you played with when you were a kid, Dad?
It might be embarrassing, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? You got to remember, you're talking to a guy here, myself, that was going to Disney before I had kids. So you got to remember that, too.
But were you
I'm a special
rocking any
kind
of
of
this
guy.
stuff in the 90s? Were you playing with slap bracelets? Did you have fanny packs? I mean, was this stuff you even rocked in the 90s?
I think I did have a fanny pack.
You did.
I think
you
it's-
look like a fanny pack guy, Diener. Gosh, why am I even asking? Of course
I
you're a
did.
fanny pack
I think
guy.
there's actually
Dude,
pictures.
of course you were a fanny pack guy. It makes so much sense.
Now that I think about it, I think there
Dude,
was.
you're yeah. If you had a nickname, it should be Fanny Pack.
do not start this.
Steven
That'll-
Fanny Pack Diener.
That will spread like wildfire.
Call you Fanny Pack.
Fanny for short.
If you want to get tickets, Panthers single game tickets for the home games, they go on sale to the public 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Season again kicking off on October 11th.
Dang,
That'll
right
be
around
pretty
the
cool.
corner. Next week, tickets on sale. Okay.
Oh, this is kind of an interesting story, too. We're a little baffled with Serena Williams. If you remember, it was back on, it was July 31st. She was playing in that Silicon Valley Classic. She came out, she was playing Johanna Konta? I don't
Sure.
even know. Yeah, what?
That works for me.
And got crushed.
Eesh.
6-1, 6-0 in 52 minutes. And that was when you're trying to say, okay, wow, is Serena going to be back? Is she going to be able to maintain the dominance that she had before? And that was just such a weird blip on the radar. And then she came back and, was she did well. Was it Wimbledon or was it? It wasn't Wimbledon. It was
When she did well, it was, yeah, because she was in the
Was
final
it?
in Wimbledon, and she lost in the final.
or was it French Open? No, maybe. Or was it the U.S. Open? Did they play? They didn't play the U.S. Open.
U.S.
yet,
Open?
have they?
Not yet. That's in a couple of weeks.
Okay, so it was Wimbledon.
Yeah.
She was in the final. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so what is going on here? Well, apparently the explanation is 10 minutes before she's about to go on the court, she's flipping around on Instagram. And she sees that the man who killed her older sister, who was convicted in 2003 of killing Yatunda Price, was paroled 3 years short of his full sentence. And so the man who kills her sister is going to be out 3 years early. She sees that 10 minutes before going on the court. And she said, I couldn't shake it out of my mind. I just was like, it's like,
wow.
yeah.
So that explains that, because that was one of her worst. I think it was the worst loss of her career, to lose 6-1, 6-11 in the
And
first
quick.
round.
And quick.
Yeah, under an hour.
Yeah.
That's what she usually does to her opponent.
Just got housed. And you're like,
Wow.
oh, boy, I don't know if we're going to see the same Serena now after this birth and everything.
Yeah, that was the reaction. People thought, like
Yeah.
you said, the birth, maybe it's caught up to her, being
So
a
if-
mother.
yeah. So for me, for somebody who was like, that's in my head when you're like trying to take on the debate of, is Serena Williams going to maintain the dominance she had before her pregnancy? You're like, there's a major blip on the radar. There's a pretty solid explanation now for why you had that blip.
Yeah, I would say so. That would shake anybody. I mean, to find that out, 10 minutes before the match?
10 minutes, yeah.
I'm glad she said something about that, because so many people were coming down hard on her. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it was, you're done. You should just retire now. You just showed us that you can't play anymore, even though she was just in the finals of Wimbledon a couple weeks beforehand.
It definitely got your attention. You looked at it and you were like, going, okay, well, she may compete, but she's not going to be dominant.
Right.
And it's because of that one match. And it's a pretty good explanation for
makes
why it
sense.
happened.
I still think she wins the U.S. Open. I said it back in June. I'm going to say it now. She's going to win the U.S. Open.
Okay.
That's
All
what I'm
right.
going with.
Your old legends are doing well. Probably a good lesson, too. You know what? Don't check Instagram right before you go on the court.
It's probably a good idea.
Man, no, it's so fun. But, I mean, come on. You never know what you're going to see.
There's a reason why LeBron James goes on a social media blackout when he gets to the playoffs.
Get your focus, yeah.
Yes.
Get your focus on. Come on, girl. Kind of like this story, too. Tiger Woods' caddy apparently tried to pay a heckler to leave. Gave the guy $25. This is at the WGC Bridgestone Invitational in Akron. And this guy's just like hounding Tiger. Just you can imagine he's probably throwing out all that stuff from 10 years ago. He pays him $25. He's like, look, I'll give you this if you just leave us alone. Guy's like, cool. Guy comes back, continues to heckle, and he just had him bounced.
I mean, you can't do this if you're the caddy, because I understand you want to get him out, but you are setting a terrible precedent now. You have any idea now that the story is out there, how many guys are
Not
going
only
to
did you
heckle
did it,
him?
but you're right. But afterwards, you talked about it.
Yes. Now the Tiger Woods will get heckled more than ever now, because they're going to be like, well, if you want me to stop, pay me. Now that this is out there, come on, man.
Why
what are
wouldn't you
doing?
have had him bounced in the first place? So
Right.
that's what I don't get. Like, why would you even think or entertain paying this guy this,
Shame.
$25, I'd be like going, look, can you bounce this guy out?
Yeah.
I mean, this is golf. And, nothing gives you the right, especially in golf, to come out and start, this isn't basketball. It's not the NFL. It's not the WWE.
No.
This is golf.
Yes, what are you doing?
Yeah, you don't get to heckle here.
I had friends who actually got thrown out of the Honda Classic one year for heckling Sergio Garcia.
Really?
Yeah.
What was their troll job?
He didn't go into the whole story with me, mainly because he didn't remember the whole thing because
Yeah.
they were so trashed. But they just
throw. I would like to see the rates.
That's
of
the Honda, though. That's the Honda.
Of who gets kicked out of what, because you would imagine if you're like it's something like the Masters, it's got to be a low kick out rate.
You would think so. Yeah.
But something like the Honda Classic has got to be, I would say, top 5 on the PGA Tour for kickouts.
Oh, absolutely. They
In ejections.
Yes, my degenerate friends would
Yeah.
not get into the Masters, but
Where's
they were
that
getting the
stat?
Honda.
That's a stat I want to see.
It's a good one.
Honda Classic has to be top 5.
Oh, it must. It's got to be number 1.
Because they rank it number 2 for the biggest drunk fest on the tour.
Where's that one in Phoenix?
Yeah, it's the one that's in Phoenix. They put that at 1.
So those that has to be the top.
Honda
2.
Classic's 2.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it's got to go hand in hand, right?
It's got to.
Has to be top 5, probably top 3.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Well, if you want to check out this show, you can watch us on YouTube. Just go to the KVJ Show. You can find us right there. You can also go check us out on Twitter. Right there, Kevin's Other Show. And you can also find the podcast as well. You won't have commercials. You won't have interruptions. If the Yankees are on, it doesn't matter. We're still going to be on no matter what. So just check out that podcast for Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ Show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.